What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. I just want to focus in on the Buffalo Sabres entering the 2015-2016 NHL season. Buffalo's a much better team than they were at this time 6 months ago. Not the least of which is landing a guy like Jack Eichel, but also, getting an Evander Kane, going for a, Ryan O'Reilly, which we'll get to in a second. That could be, could go either way. Landon Robin Lair, improving the goaltending situation. And, you know, the D is still a major, major, major weak spot in this team. But I'm looking at it and I'm saying, all right, you can piece some pretty good forward lines together here. I mean, you go Ryan O'Reilly, Evander Kane, and then for the right wing on that line, do you put a Giannis out there? Do you move Tyler Henderson to that right wing spot? Maybe you put Eichel there, but I like Eichel as a second line center with Matt Molson, an inexperienced veteran player that can definitely, help him out in terms of, the defensive aspects of the game and, really just, been there, done that, has good creativity and can fit in pretty well with a guy like Eichel. There's really a lot of different things Danny Bilesma can do with this lineup. The forwards are, I think, pretty good. One of the more, I'm not going to say underrated because I think people know how good, a guy like Eichel is, but, one of the not as awful groups, in the NHL. In terms of rookie expectations for Eichel, I think 35 to 50 points is reasonable. If you're expecting this guy to walk in there and be a 100-point scorer as a rookie, then I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. It's tough to score in that league, and with their D being as not great as they are, to put it bluntly, it's going to be tough to create transition and, really get the puck moving out of the zone. A lot of onus is going to be put on the centers, including Eichel, to go back deep in the defensive zone of the breakouts to help facilitate, movement and, scoring chances up ice. That's going to be tough. But, I think he's going to play where he'll do just fine playing in that role. I think Buffalo statistically will be one of the more improved teams. I mean, you can only go up from 53 points, but 70 to 80 points isn't out of the question. This is not a playoff team. Let's not pretend it is. Let's not even talk like that. But, you add these guys. Does Sam Reinert make the team out of camp? He's AHL eligible if he doesn't. So, send him down, let him gain some confidence in the A. But, even put him on a line with O'Reilly and Evander Kane. That'd be a pretty good line. Move Reinert off to the wing. That could really bring out some good things in him. There's just a lot of options with this team, and I think having a coach like Danny Bilesma I think he'll do a good job with this squad, and I think, they'll be, that's why I think as a Bruins fan, the East is going to be a lot better next year. The non-playoff teams pretty much all got better across the board, with a few exceptions. But, you look at the Sabres team, they won't be in the bottom of the league next year. They'll be better. Again, not a playoff team, but, they could sneak up on some people. And again, I like the way the versatility in this forward core, and even besides them, because Gergensen's into the top six as a winger. Why not? He's shown he can play a good role in that third line. On that third line. So why not give him a shot to play with a guy like O'Reilly or a guy like Eichel? I mean, that's something that you can definitely do. And I think Bilesma's got the wherewithal to make smart decisions with this group and to make sure that they get the best out of each other. Again, I like where this forward group is headed. I think the prospects in the system are great, but I think the D is going to be a major weakness, and that's going to hurt them in a lot of games. Because if no matter how skilled your forwards are, if they can't get the puck out of past their blue line, they're screwed. And I think shoe on the other foot, the Ryan O'Reilly thing, getting DUI'd, with Tim Hortons after signing a mammoth contract with the Sabres, not the best look for the Pagula family right now. But, he gets a couple games suspension, learns from it and becomes a leader in that locker room. I think that's a likely thing. I mean, I think there's guys like him and Evander Kane come in with baggage, but I think a coach like Danny Bilesma, who's been there, who's won a Stanley Cup, who's coaching some big games in his career, can get the best out of them and to get them to buy into his system. And I think his system, maybe not at the end in Pittsburgh, but for a lot of his tenure there worked. And I think allowing him to take command and follow in his lead, I think will be beneficial to the veterans and the youngsters in that team. So again, I like the direction the team's headed. I like the forwards a lot. The D is a weakness. I think Robin Lehner's going to do pretty well between the pipes. I think he's really going to step up and become that number one goalie that he sees himself as, and the Sabres do. So you give him a first round pick and a few other things. And then worst case scenario at the deadline, you move a guy like a David Legwand or maybe even a Gianta. You can get more assets in the organization, help further the rebuild. But again, team's on the right track. It's not going to happen overnight, but you know, it's going to be a brighter day ahead in Buffalo. Anyway, that's our episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.